Okay. So hello everyone. Good morning and good evening. So last class we were actually discussing about the Node.js, right? So we were discussing about Node.js core modules and custom modules, and also we were discussing about the Node.js npm modules, right? And one second, people are still joining. Okay. So we were discussing about Node.js third-party modules like Gravatar. We discuss UUID, .env, JSON Web Token, and all this, right? So now it's time to understand how to create a server using Node.js. Okay, because we have learned this background part, like just like how to write a logic with Node.js we discussed, right? How to use the modules we discussed. Now what is the main benefit of Node.js is server creation. So server means it's supposed to uh, gets the request from the client, and it has to perform some kind of process, and also it has to be linked with database. It has to also having connection with database operations as well. Okay, so a server should receive a request from the user and do some process and give a response back to the user. That means the client. So let's see how to create a Node.js server using Node.js. Okay, fine. So what I do is okay, so let me create a fresh folder, new directory. So 11 hyphen node.js hyphen creating server. Okay, here I create one JavaScript, that is app.js. Okay, fine. So how the server will work? Generally, what is meant by server? I think we already discussed. Server means which receives request from the client, it does some process and gives back the result. So we'll just think like a server. Okay, so first let me write a code, and then going forward I explain what is the each step. Okay, so in Node.js, you know, hardly you write some 5 6 lines of code that itself acts as a server. Okay, uh, fine. I just tell you how to create a server with Node.js is there is one module, core module that's called HTTP module. So using HTTP module, we're gonna create a server in Node.js. So let's see how to create. So first of all, just say constant HTTP is equal to require HTTP. HTTP is the module, the core module. Okay, and for every server, there will be a host name and the port number. Okay, for example, constant host name is equal to generally 127.0.0.1. That's a host name, and the constant port number is equal to some 5000 is the port number. Okay, so what exactly the host name is? This is like an IP address of your server. Generally, for every system, for every laptop or desktop, this is the global IP address which you can use for the server. Okay, local host, people call it as local host, and the local host address will be 127.0.0.1. You can even change this 0.0.1 to something else. I just tell you once you create a server, and the port number means the registered port number from where you have to receive the request. For example, if you want to understand this process, um, we all have a house, right? House is having a physical address, right? So and so street number, so and so house number and all. So that is the address of a server is this one, because server is in a virtual. Okay, you can't see the physical, right? So virtual server address is like this. For example, we have mobile phone IP address, system IP address, like that. IP address of a server where you have deployed that. Okay, and also port number. So port number, for your house there is a main gate, right? So people can enter from the main gate, people can exit from the main gate. So that just like that main gate itself is called as a, it's like a port number. So you can only send a request to the server using this port number, and you can only receive the response from this port number. So every server will have this IP address and port number. Even for example, there'll be a website called facebook.com. Okay, so generally we never type these type of numbers in the URL. Okay, we only type facebook.com in the URL because these numbers are very hard to remember. because Google having some number, Facebook having some number, Gmail having some number. Like every domain, every server is having this type of number, and it's very hard to remember the number. So that's why in between the domain there is one DNS server will be there. This is like domain name server. This will match whatever the number, what is the sorry, what are the string you type. This string is gonna match with that specific IP address, something like this. Okay, because we can't remember this one, so that's why this is a mediator. And for this one, they give us name called domain. So once you type in domain, it will redirect to this particular IP address. But in this case, we have not purchased any domain for this one, so we just make only this number. So once you deploy the application to online, I tell you some domain name will come out there. Okay, so as of now, just IP address and port number. Okay, fine. After that, the step will be you have to create a server. How to create a server is let server is equal to http module dot, there's a function called create server. Okay, create server. So this every server will have two set of objects. One is request and one is response. I tell you, this is having inside a callback function that name is request listener. Don't write this request listener, this comes automatically. This indicates what is this function belongs to, what's the parameter this function belongs to is request listener. Okay, this function is contains two parameters, one is request and one is response. So what is request is any data which you receive from the client to the server is request. So from client to server is request, from server to client is response. Okay, remember, client to server is request, server to client is response. You request something, it will respond something. Okay, so as a browser we have to request to something to server, as a server it has to respond something for the request. Okay, fine. Next, inside you write set of configuration. It's just like a response. I'm not doing any validation, any processing logic. I just want to respond with a basic message for confirmation of a server startup. Okay, so I say respond dot status code is equal to 200. What is this 200 is? Every response is having set of status code. I think you know one status code which is very common for everyone, that is 404. What is 404? Well, 404 means page not found. Okay, just like that, I just tell you a set of status codes required for us, because you need to have an idea about it. So status code, there is something called 1xx. So anything starts from 1, that is called informative, some information kind of. And there's something called 2xx for success. And there is something called 3xs, that is called redirection. And 4, this is for unauthorized and like bad requests, those things. And even 404 page not found also comes into the same category. And 500 is the server error. Okay, client error and server error. If you want to know more about each and every number, what is this exactly the XX number is, you can go to official documentation of what is this one, status codes. Okay, you can just search for um, status code MDN, you type. Okay, status code MDN, this is the official JavaScript website. There you can find every HTTP what will be the status codes. See, one S stands for information responses, 200 to 299 is successful responses. That's why I made, I just want to get some successful response. No validation as of now, just successful response from the server, your request. And redirection is this number. Redirection means you request for one URL, that is request for another URL. Okay, and the client error is 400, 404 and all. Server error 500 onwards. Okay, so let me give you this, and even they explain each and every number. So 100 means what? 101, 102, 103, 200 is okay, successful, created, accepted. Like you can see the 404 somewhere, 300, 401 unauthorized, 402 payment required, forbidden, for not page not found, like that. Okay, I'll give you this URL, so this you can refer for future purpose. Okay, maybe in the interview some people will ask about these things, so you just keep a backup. Okay, let's keep this URL. Fine. That's about status code. I'll just walk through each and every line one more time, but I'm just writing here. Status code and then response. Response dot set header, not set head, set. Let's say response dot set. Okay, let's say set header. I'll say type content type um, text slash plain. What is this set header content type is? I'm setting something to the response content type plain. So whenever whoever requests to my server, I will be responding with some plain text. Okay, fine. And finally, what you want to respond as response.end is a function. Response.end. Let's make a basic message. Welcome to Node.js. Okay, that's fine. And then yeah, so once you create a server, every server once it is created, it will be keep tracking your request. So how the client is waiting for the request is you have to write something called server dot listen. Okay, server is going to listen to the particular port number as well as the host name. Okay, and here you'll be having a function, and here you can make a confirmation of server startup. Okay, so Node.js server is started at let's make a backtick operator. Yep, here started at http colon slash slash host name and colon port number. Okay, that's it. This is your server startup code in Node.js. Very simple code. Because we are not writing any logic or something, any validations or something. Just made just server startup. Okay, so you need to use the HTTP module of core module. You don't need to install anything. And host name is this one, port number this one, and create server. This is gonna create a server, and every server will takes two kind of parameters. One is request and response. Request indicates the an object which you receive from the client. Any information you receive from the client that is available here. Any information you are getting from server available here. That's why I'm adding response and not request. I'm adding response dot everything. So I'm going to send what type of response from server is this one. And also I made listen to the port number. So it's keep listening to this port number and host name. And this is the our own console log. Fine. So how to test it? See, till now we have taken multiple JavaScript files, right? But how you test it? Just you run the Node.js node command you have done, and that's it. Because they're all standalone. There is no server involved. Okay, these are just done standalone. Fine. And from now onwards, it is the server. So you have to test the server. There should be a client. That client will be the browser. So let me start the server and then let me test it with the browser. So now browser involves. Okay. So let's go to terminal. Okay. Here, I think I was in some other folder. So let's say cd space dot dot. Okay. And I say cd space 11 tab. Okay, node just creating server, or else you say right click open terminal. Okay, fine. So just say node space app.js, enter. See, you got the message. Node.js server started at this number. So when I just click on this particular link, and also please check here. Okay, you got the message. Node.js server started at this particular address. That's what this one. So it's a clear indication that server started. Okay, sir, before that, we also write some other lines like response.end welcome to Node.js. Sir, where is that welcome to Node.js? Actually, this particular lines of code can only be executed whenever you send a request to the server. Okay, so these lines can only be executed whenever you send a request to the server. When you run this program, it doesn't mean that you have requested something. You just start the server. You're not request anything to server. Okay, so how can I request to server? Simple. Open a browser, enter this URL. That's called a request to server. Okay, you're requesting something to the server. Okay, so what do you do? The same address I'll be pasting in my browsers. Let me open a browser. Let me open a fresh browser. I say 127 001 colon 5000 and press enter. See, you got a message. Let me zoom it. Welcome to Node.js. So whenever you send a request to this particular URL, you got a message. Welcome to Node.js. It means you have sent a request, then only you got a response. And that to what type of response is successful response, no error. That is just 200. And content type plain text because this is the plain text. It's not HTML. It's not anything. Just plain text. So that is text slash plain. And also we have what is the message you're going to send response.end. So just end up the response with this particular message. That's what has come. Welcome to Node.js. That's fine. Okay. So now we understand how to create a server and how to run the program and how to test the client as well. Okay. Um, Now we understand, sir. What about this one? Can't we change it? Yes, we can change the host name. You can change to anything. I tell you. For example, this is the port number, host name I given. You can change to any number which starts from 127, like 127 dot. Hardly 3 digits to write. Okay, 3 digits. Let's say something called 45, 54 dot something dot something. You can write this also. It works. Okay, so after 127, any number you give, it works. Okay, because 127 indicates the local IP address of your system. Okay, let me try something this one. Okay, copy this. In the place of here, I'll paste it, save it. Okay, I saved it. So once you save, okay, once you save, what you have to do is you have done some changes in the server code. Remember, every time you just remember one thing. Whenever you do some changes in the server file, you have to restart the server to detect those changes. I repeat, whenever you do some changes in the server file, to detect those changes, you have to restart the server every time. Even you add a single space also, you want to reflect the space when you do a client call. Okay, you have to restart the server. Sir, how to restart the server? Very simple. It just a one command is running, right? Just do control C for camera. Okay, control C and type the command one more time. So node space app.js, enter. See, earlier it was 127.0.0.1 and now it is 127.54.45 something. Okay, so now what? Our server has been switched from this address to this address. Sir, what if I go and request for the same existing address? What happened? Just check. I refresh. I'm going to send a refresh means I'm going to send one more request. What do you got? Server cannot be reached because now server is not on this address. Server is on now this address. Okay, so what you have to do? Let's open this URL. See, 127.54.45 something. You got the address. You got the sorry response. Okay, this is no longer works. Okay, so because we have changed the IP address, you can change to any IP address starts from 127. You have another choice. You can also give your local IP address as well because our server is running on our my local laptop, right? So any of the starting 127 number, this three anything you can give, or else you have one more choice. You can also give the local IP address. Okay. For example, do you know how to check your local IP address? IP config. Just go to command line, type this command ipconfig. You get the local IP address. You can give that IP address also. Let me try that. Okay, let me open a command prompt. Let me search for my IP address. Let's say IP config, enter. So you get something like this IPv4 address. That's called IP address. This is the one. So 192.168.1.2. Let me type that. Where? Here. 192.168.1.2. Okay, that's my IP address. Fine. Okay, let's save it. So if you save, it will not work automatically. You have to restart the server to detect your changes. Okay, let's control C, CLS for clear screen and node space app.js, enter. So now check, your address has been changed of node.js to be this one. So now address has been changed to the another location. So when I go and send a request for this server, this no longer exists. There is no server is running on this particular port number. So it's gone. I mean, this address is gone. Okay, sir, what's supposed to do? Just click on this link. It will work. Okay, fine. So it executes and respond with the same old message. Okay, fine. But in my while doing I'm doing the coding, I never give you this IP address because this particular number can only work in my system, in my laptop. If you give your IP address, it only works in your laptop. Okay, sir, what is the thing which is common for everyone is 127.0.0.1. Okay, fine. This is common for everyone. Okay, so we are done with the host name. Sir, what about I stop the server? What about port number? Yeah, of course, you can change the port number also because that's your local, right? You have access for everything. So you can change the port number also. Generally, the port number, you know, what is the range of port numbers you have to use in system? Generally, you have to use from 1 to 65,535. Any number you can give, any number you can give for the port number. Okay, but mostly what people says is 1 to 1024 mostly used by your operating system. In operating system, when you open this what do you call task manager, right? So there some port numbers will be used for every software. Okay, the local software. This is like, you know, the operating system itself is one server. Okay, so inside the lot of processors will be running. So every process will have their port number. Okay, so hardly 1024 will be used internally by OS. So never give below I mean less than 1024. You can give any other number, but safe side you can give some numbers from 3000 to 9999. Any number you can give, it works. Okay, and there are some specific softwares uses the default port number. For example, 3000 used by React.js. Okay, 8080 is used by the Apache Tomcat. People who know Java, they can. And 4200 can be used by Angular, and 27017 can be used by MongoDB, like that. Okay, so don't choose these port numbers. It will affect the existing framework or library. Okay, so choose something which is not affect for any other and easy to remember. Okay, so generally I'll give 5000 5000 for port number. Okay, you can make 50,000 also. 65,535 is the maximum port number. Okay, so I'll just give maximum, sometimes 5000 to 9000, 9999 something I'll give. Okay, so you want to change the port number, you can change the port number to something called 9999. Okay, I save it. So let me run this program. So I have stopped it, just say node space app.js, enter. See, it is started 9999. So when I go back and here, now server running on this address, not on this address. If you send a request here, just refresh. Okay, it stops. Okay, so what you have to do, just click on this and it will get the address here. Okay, fine. 1 second, people are keep on chatting. Let me see that. Uh, LDAP out of subject. Okay, okay. Uh, Sir, why it is necessary to give port number? Necessary to give port number. Yeah, it must be given in the local. If you're running in the local system, you must give the port number. But once you deploy to Google, it will take the port number automatically in the available ports by uh, the deployed server. Okay, but in local you must have to give the port number because this is actually running by the Windows system, right? The internal. So it's supposed to get some port number to run your application. Every application runs on one certain port number. You must have to give something. Okay, some number. It's just like one process will be running in your Windows. Okay, fine. But that is called as we call it as server. Okay, fine. Um, where we are? Okay, so we finished with the hostname port number done, and also we got something like this. Fine. Okay, sir, we are happy. Let's keep it back to 5,000. 5,000. If you want to detect the changes, what you do? Control C, node space app.js enter. You got back 5,000, not 9999. Refresh. So how many times you get? You send the request, you get the response. Fine. Now I want to tell you something. What is that is before I continue with the next concept of it, I tell you. See here, uh, whatever the changes you do, you have to restart the server. That's the logic, right? Whatever the changes you do, not only just port number and host name, whatever even the space you added, okay, you have to restart the server. But in the entire story, restarting the server is a pain, right? So server, sir, how many times I had to restart a server just to check my changes? Because we do a lot of times we do keep changing the source code, right? So every time restarting server is not looks good. Okay, so someone should automate that process. Yes. Okay. I think you remember something at if you know my if you follow my UI technology videos like HTML, CS and all, there I use one something called live server. Okay, live server. What is live server? Means client side. I'm talking about client side live server. So that means when you do some changes in the HTML or when you do some changes in the CSS, this live server will automatically detect those changes and it will refresh the browser automatically to see the changes. Okay, we don't need to refresh the browser every time. So what is this live server? This live server actually is a third party module because we discussed third party module, right? So that's a npm install -g live server. This is the command we're going to install for client side. Okay. So if you install, what happen? It will refresh the browser automatically when file changes happen. Just like that, I want to restart my Node.js server whenever file changes are detected. Okay. So how can you restart the server? For every file change happens at server side is there is one more third party module you have to install that's called nodemon. Okay, so this nodemon is one third party module. So this is used to restart the server automatically when the file changes are happened at server side. Okay, sir, how to install this? Okay, before you install, okay, I tell you, can you tell me how did you install bcrypt.js? Was the command bcrypt.js, how you install? Npm install bcrypt.js. Okay, if you install this command, where is that source code is kept? In the your project folder, inside node modules folder it is kept, correct? So when you install it keeps in the node modules folder. Perfect. Next, what I'm saying is how you install nodemon is npm install -g nodemon. Okay, so what's the difference between this line and this line? Extra -g. Okay, so I tell you what is -g. -g means G stands for global. Global, yes, global. Okay, so generally in Node.js, right, we're gonna install the third-party modules in two ways. Either you install the third-party module in the local, or you install third-party module in the global. So what is local means? Till now, what we have done the installation of third-party module is local. Local means if any of the package you wanted to use that only for a particular project, you have to install that local to the project. For example, the bcrypt.js. So bcrypt.js is one third-party module. I want to use the bcrypt.js third-party module only for a particular application, not for all the Node.js applications. So particular application you want to use, you have to install that local to that particular application. Okay, so that you can use only in that application, not outside. So you install with this command is like this, no extra -g. Okay, and there are some third-party modules which are common for all Node.js applications. Okay, which are common for bgripj is not common for all. Okay, just particularly for one. So NodeMon is one third-party module, Node.js npm module, but which is not for a particular Node.js application, which is common for every application. Sir, why? Every Node.js application I want to restart. Okay, not a particular Node.js application I want to restart. So you can install this not in the local, you can install in the global. Global means simply it will create a Node.js Node modules folder in the C drive where Node.js was installed there. So you can happily use this NodeMon. Only one time you have to install. You can use it for every application. Okay. So let's see how to do this. Let me. I just show you NodeMon also. If you go to npm JS, okay, in npm JS you can search for it. Do we need to install NodeMon for Angular? Not required, because Angular is internally using it. Okay, that's why when you do some changes in Angular, it will restart automatically the browser, right? Actually, for Angular side, backend you have to do NodeMon. Okay, backend we develop from ourselves, so we have to use NodeMon. Client side not required because it is using live server automatically. Okay, you can type NodeMon, enter. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, this is the icon of it. Okay, you can see that. Let me zoom once. Okay, so NodeMon is a tool that helps develop Node.js based applications by automatically restarting the Node.js application when file changes in the directory are detected. So whenever you do file changes in the application, it will automatically restart Node.js application. It means your server. Okay, so how you gonna install? It's very popular module. See, 29 lakhs downloads per week. And how you install is npm install -g NodeMon global. Okay, install once in global. You can use n number of times until unless your system is available. Okay, so let me run this program. I mean, let me run this command. You can do in local terminal or you can do Excel terminal. Anyway, just enter the command global. Okay, no package.json also required for global. Only for local required, global not required. So let's paste it, enter. So this is a major step. You have to install it to restart your server automatically. Okay, and again, when you install this, you need to have a internet connection. Okay, so let's wait for this.
Naveen,
Huh.
how do we connect the live server with WebStorm after installing it through command prompt?
WebStroma.
Yeah.
You need to enter the command live server hyphen port equal 9000 like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that which directory you want to be automatic browser refresh. So go to that location and type this command hyphen port is equal to something 9000, your custom port number.
Okay. So after that, I can use my
Yeah,
local.
it opens automatically the browser, and there you can see all the files of the project.
Okay. Got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah. You can just refer my HTML videos there I have showed in the first
Yeah, I've
days.
seen that. I've seen the installation part, but I've not seen the configuration part. Yeah, I will check. Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
that's fine. Yeah, so it's done. Okay, just exit. Okay, so now it's time to use the NodeMon. Okay, sir, we install NodeMon. How to use NodeMon? Simple. Simple thing. Actually, how are you running the Node.js application? I mean the Node.js server. How are you running? Simple command, right? Node space app.js. Yes. So if you run node space app.js, you have to restart yourself. Okay. You want to use NodeMon. Simple story. NodeMon space app.js. Simple. So from now onwards, once you install NodeMon, okay. So from now onwards, because our intention is to restart the server automatically. So from now onwards, you have to use the command call, not node space app.js. From now, NodeMon space app.js. So if you run this command, this will take care about automatic restart of it. Okay, let's see how it is. Let's go back to my this one. I am already started with previous one. Let me control C, CLS. Yeah, it's clear screen only for here. Okay, so how you do nodemon, nodemon, no space, nodemon space, app dot js, enter. So see, nodemon, some extra logs. Previously, those logs are not there. Now nodemon extra logs, and watching the file's path and all the extensions, and starting Node.js server here. Started at this address. You can just go and refresh. You got the answer. Fine. Now what I do is let me test my this one. Is it really restarting or not? Go check. If I change this, like, node is there. Na? I change this to Express. Okay, I just save it. As soon as you save, what is happen? Restarting due to changes, starting this here. So it's automatically restarted. Okay, then go send a request. You got Express.js, right? I'll change it back to node, save it. Automatically restarted. So go send a request. You got node now. Got it? That's fine. Okay. So you don't need to bother about server restart. That's fine. Okay. Now, one more thing is, sir, whenever you enter this particular URL, I generally get a nice website, a nice colorful website or something I'll get, right? But what is this nonsense? Just simple text. Okay. Okay. We start from very basic, no? Like that. Okay. Sir, I want to apply some nice styles for this. I don't want to just display some plain text. I want to just get this some normal HTML tag with some styles or something. Okay. How would I get that? Yes, you can do that. How? Okay, I'll do one thing. In this response.end function, I will make one like this what? I forgot. Template string. Okay, backtick operator. I write some h2 tag. Let's say slash h2. I say welcome to Node.js. Welcome to Node.js. We give some nice styles also. Let's say style background color lime green. That's a Node.js color, comma. What else? Color. No, I think semicolon. Color white. Fine. So I made. You have to respond when whoever send a request to my server. I need to respond them with this response. Welcome to Node.js and this story, this colors and styles. Let me check now. And don't bother about restart. It is done automatically for you by Nodemon. Okay, don't touch the terminal also. Once you start the server, don't bother about it. Okay. Fine. So now go here. I send a request. Wow, super. Actually, we expect it is to be background green color and text white color, but we got just a plain text. Sir, what's the problem? Problem is, see here. What is this line? Response dot set header. I'm telling her response. Please put something on your head. Content type plain text. So we are just informing the response in such a way that you have to respond him back in a plain text format. So whatever you write is convert like a plain text here. No. It's not a plain text. It is a HTML concept. It's a HTML tag. You have to render like HTML. So simply instead of text slash plain, you say HTML. Text generally HTML will be displayed, but I've just showed plain text also. So text slash HTML. So this will be rendered as a HTML in the browser. So let's save it. Don't bother about restart. Go and send a request one more time. See, now you got welcome to Node.js with nice colorful message. That's fine. Okay. So we made how to send a plain text, how to send HTML text with styles. That's fine. One more thing, sir. For every website, not just a tag with content, we need to display a nice page over here, right? For example, here, see, a full of content with a full of styles and too many things. It's a complete page. Here also, everywhere. So I want to here render a complete HTML page. How you do? Okay, let's do one thing. Let me create one HTML at server side, and I want to uh, bring that HTML as a response back from the server, whoever request to it. Okay, So what I do is, shall we do one thing? Shall we take a separate setup? Because you may confuse if I add everything to the same file setup. So I'll do one thing. I'll just simply copy this entire folder, and meanwhile, let me stop the server. Exit, exit. Okay, let's take a copy of the same setup, and then I tell you how to get the HTML file as a response. Okay, copy this folder, paste it in the server side development. Let's make it as 12 Node.js with HTML response. Okay, fine. So everything same to same. App.js also same here. Fine. So now what's supposed to do? Let's create one HTML and then respond it with that. Okay, how? I say right click, new HTML. Let's make something called index.html. Let's make some title called Node.js. Okay, and what we want is here. Let's write some one division in that h2 tag. Welcome to Node.js server, and p tag, just say lorem 30 tab, and also let's say another one, let's say lorem 50 tab, some text. Okay, let me also write some styles for this. Let's say style tag. You can't write separate style sheet. There is a rule. I tell you, I talk about it. As of now, I write the what internal styles only, no separate style sheet. I just say body tag only there. Background color, something called not lime green. Let's say something called light. Okay, blue color, and font weight. Sorry, font family, Arial and sans serif. Anything else? Text align center completely for the whole website. Um, okay, fine. Let's say h1 tag. Let's say font to size. Make some 40 pixels, and p tag. Let's make some font size around 18 pixels. Not much styles because our concept is not HTML. Okay, just keep it as it is. Fine. So we made a HTML file. Okay. So what's my plan is whoever send a request to this particular server respond with a nice HTML page as a response. How? I do one thing. If I write h2 tag like this, I got a h2 tag. In place of h2 tag, what I do is I write the file name index.html. Okay. I write because my file is index.html. Na? That file I want to display, right? So response with index.html. I save it. Now go back. No restart required. Okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't even started the server. Okay, restart required. And don't install Node.js again and again. If you install global, it will work for every application. Okay, that's why we install Node global. Nodemon space app.js app. Where I'm typing. This is server side development. Where is my file? In the folder number 11 or 12. 12. Okay. cd space 12 tab. Okay, now proper. So nodemon space app.js, enter. It started. Go check and back, same address now. Enter. Something is annoying, right? Okay, sir, we expect the whole page. We got just index.html. Why? I tell you. I wanted to return this because you need to understand it. Okay, sir, why? Simple story. Response dot end. It means whoever send a request to my server will respond you with something. What is that something? Some content HTML. That's what respond here. No. I want the whole content there. It means, you know what? This end function is there. No? This end function can only accept a string as a parameter. Okay. So this end function is going to display something on the page. That's fine. But what type of content it receives, what type of parameter it receives is string. But my file content is just the whole file. It's not a string, it's a whole file. Sir, but still the problem is end function can only accept a string. Sir, for that matter, can I copy everything? Copy this, keep a string here. Of course, you can do that. Yeah, let me try once. Okay. I just copy pasted whole HTML in the place of end function. Okay, I save it. It's not a proper way, but I'm just showing it. I pasted. Let me go back and enter. You got response back proper. But thing is, sir, who will write like this? No one will write such a HTML. Then that too is a plain, just dummy HTML file. I want to make the whole website. Then how can I do this with Node.js? Shall I write everything here? No, there is an easy way. So how it is simple. Let me keep it back to index.html. Yeah. So this only accept a string, but in the place of string, I want the whole file. Simple. We know the file system module, right? Core module, file system module. Yeah. So what we do using the file system module, we read this entire file data, just like a string format, and that resultant will be sending to this function. Yes, that way you have to do in Node.js. So what I'm saying is you can import another module constant fs is equal to require fs file system module. I also make some dynamic path using the path module. So path is equal to require. We have seen this, right? So path. Okay, so I have a fs and path. So what I do is not just this one. I cut it. I want to read fs dot read file, and what is your file path? Path dot join underscore directory name, comma, where is your file, just near to app.js. So you can just mention as it is. Just say index.html. Okay, that's a path, comma, UTF-8, that's a file encoding, and then sorry, cat encoding, and let's make a function. So this function takes two things. One is error and the data. So this data actually indicates the string format of the HTML file. HTML file also file only, no? Just a file, right? Okay, whatever, HTML, JavaScript, whatever, just a file. Okay, you can read it and you get data. And this data you send to the end function. First, let's make if any error in reading the file, just throw the error. And then response dot end with my data. And what is the data? This guy. Okay, fine. Now let me check. Okay, no restart required. Go back here and send a request one more time. Wow. So now you got the proper setup as we expected, the proper HTML. Don't worry, not much styles, but I just want to focus on Node.js, not on the styles. Okay, fine. I got some page. Perfect. Sir, what else? What else is? Yeah, something next level will go. We start from where? How to display plain text and then HTML tag and then HTML page. I want to do multiple pages now. What is that? For example,
Where we are defining the data for where we are mapping the data with index.html.
data means?
So it is we are mapping the index.html, right?
Huh.
So the data is where we are mapping it out.
The content which you want to display in HTML.
Yeah, right.
No, actually, I tell you frankly, no HTML will be sent from the server.
Okay.
Okay. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, everything can be written using the frameworks, using the using the Angular or React. Because here DOM manipulation highly complex. You can't do a DOM manipulation also. Okay, you have to use something called template engine. It's a long story. And why we are not supposed to send the HTML files from the server is, if you send from HTML files from server, it's become a traditional way, old way. Because when you expect something from the client to keep on loading and loading and loading and display data. But what actually Angular says is no refreshment, everything do in the background process. Okay, you never see a page refresh. It means story is the HTML, the CSS, everything will be made in the client side library, client side framework. What server just lightweight. It is just respond with JSON data. That's it. For example, we have done this GitHub API search, right? Using Angular. So
Right.
there, when you call a server URL, you receive data in a JSON format. So server is just a lightweight thing which we can respond with JSON. 99.99% we use only JSON format to receive. Okay, no HTML. So once you receive this data, we know how to handle with the data and where you fix the data and what styles you want, right? Everything we can do easily with, and even that to data binding with Angular or React. So what server has to do, just only send a JSON data. But as I'm still telling, there is a provision to send HTML also, but we never ever use HTML response. Only just for home page confirmation we'll make it, but every request it will send and receive data through JSON. Okay,
Right.
and even we'll make a REST API also with JSON.
Okay.
Okay, so I just talk about that. Okay, fine. Now something more we'll see here, because you have to understand the routing part. With this only you understand the routing part. Okay, so thing is, yeah, sir, when you enter this URL, you got this page. Generally, how websites will be, website will be is like this. For example, okay, let's go to GitHub. If I go to github.com, okay, you get this page. Okay, so you observe very closely here. What is the URL? github.com. So when I click on pull request, what is the path? Slash pulse, you get a pulse page. Okay, I click on issues. Now it's become slash issues. I got the issues page. When I click on marketplace, it is marketplace. I got the marketplace. When I click on explore, slash explore, I got the explore page. If I do something blah blah blah, I get the page not found. Okay, so what you understand with this is, whatever the website is there, like for example, our 127.0.0.1 colon 5000. This is our homepage address. So here I'll say slash. Yes, of course, you are getting index.html. That's your homepage. Fine. Next, I'll say slash about. Okay, you're supposed to display about page. And when I say slash contact, so you're supposed to display contact page. When I say slash services, you're supposed to display services.html. So whatever the request I'm making, that particular HTML means that particular page has to be displayed. Simple, no? If you take about same restaurant example, spelling Nanga, TUA restaurant. Okay, okay, just ignore it. Okay, we use WhatsApp, no? There will get automated hint. Okay, fine, fine. Okay, if you want, you can search in Google. You get in. That's not a big deal. Okay. Otherwise, people will think, oh, Naveen sir don't know restaurant spelling. Restaurant, TAURANT, TAU. Okay, fine. The same restaurant example. See here, there is one customer. Okay, what customer will do? Customer orders chicken biryani. When the customer orders chicken biryani, he will receive chicken biryani, obviously, right? When customer orders mutton biryani, he will get mutton biryani on the table. When customer order a single tea, he will get that one. Same story, right? Same way, on my browser, virtual system, on my browser, when I request for about page, I get about page. When I request for contact, I will get the contact. When I request for services, I need to get the services. So in the restaurant, who is acting as a server is your waiter. I mean the hotel waiter. Okay. If you order chicken biryani, he will give you chicken biryani that way. So server responsibility is get the request from the client, accordingly serve him the response. Correct. Okay, now let me try my application, what I'm getting when I enter these URLs. Okay, go back here. So we don't have any links or something to click on, just like this guy. So I'll type manually. Okay, I'll say slash home page. Okay, that's fine. Slash home page. I say slash about, you get the home page. I say slash services, you get the home page. I say slash contact, home page. I say something slash blah 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 blah, still home page. So it's like you went to restaurant, whatever you order, they're giving chicken biryani only. You order soup, they're giving chicken biryani because they only have chicken biryani in the store. Okay, it is like that. Okay, sir, what to do and how to change it? What supposed to be happen? Simple. So actually, when you check your server code in server, what is written is there is no. Did you see any request or something? Request object. Did you use anywhere request object? No request object. Responsive, everything response. So my server is doesn't care what is the request. Okay, it doesn't care. I mean, this is actually request object because whatever you send from client to server is request now. So whatever you're requesting, chicken biryani, mutton biryani, whatever, this is never expecting. It's not never receiving your request only. It's only sending a response. Okay. So what's supposed to change here is I want to catch what is your request first. Okay. And then based on the request, I want to serve him the response. Okay. Sir, how can I receive this data? For example, if you're requesting contact page from the client, right? So if server knows that you are requesting for contact, then server will provide you contact file. So how can I access this path is this entire data what you're sending from client to server is resides in request object. Okay, if you want to see this path, you can use that here. For example, let's server, not server, you can say the path is equal to, or the client path, whatever, is equal to request object dot url. Okay, this comes under the url part of request object. Okay, let me see what you're requesting. Based on that, I'll modify. Okay, console.log of path. Okay, let's see what is my request. Generally, you never get a response from HTML or Node.js, but I'm just telling you how to make a for different requests. For contact page, you get to get the data in a JSON format. Like whatever request you do, you have to get data in JSON format. But I'm just showing with HTML. Okay. So when I send a contact, I need to get the contact page. So how can I receive this contact is request.url, the same path you printed. Let's see in the console log what is the path is requested. Okay, so now check. Okay, I'm doing something on one mistake. You tell me what's the mistake. Okay, I open the browser window. I open console because I write a console log na console.log. Okay, so I open browser. Tell me what is the problem. Okay, I open console window. Now I don't make anything. Just a slash enter. What happened? What happened? Site cannot reach. Why? Path.join is not a function. Why? What man? One second. I think I made a mistake here somewhere. Path.join is not a function. Why? Path is there. Path is there. Here is the path. Oh, okay, okay. I got a mistake. Actually, this is not the mistake I want to show you. Actually, path is there now. Path module is there now. So I've declared one more variable called the same path. That's why it says I don't know what is that path you belongs to. Is this the local path request.url path or this path? Okay, good. Okay, I'll change this. Okay, client URL I take client URL. Okay, it must be a different name. Client here. So now it will be happy. Yeah, I hope. No restart required. It is start automatically. This is a previous error. It started now fresh. So now let's see. Here I supposed to tell you the error. Okay. Yeah. So now say I slash. What do you get? Console.log, no, okay, nothing you type, you don't get anything. I say slash contact, no console log. I say slash services, no console log. I say slash profile, whatever, no console.log. I say blah blah blah, not this one, slash something. So there is no console.log. Sir, where is my console.log then? Yes, here it is. You know what? I write the console.log, right? Generally, when you write client-side examples, client-side JavaScript, when you write console.log, you can see on the browser, correct? But now where I write the console.log, I write the console.log in the server. It's a server it is, right? If you write inside a server, you can see only in the server log. Where is server log? Not this one. Okay, never ever. It's not a browser log. It's a server log. Server log means where you start the server in the command prompt. No, that is server log. So open terminal. Yeah, see, you're getting them. So slash favicon.ico, that's the default one, which is the icon, your icon, na? That is favicon.ico. Just forget about that one. Except that, see, slash contact, slash services, slash profile, slash blah, blah, blah. I got. Okay, and if you don't type anything, it is just like a slash request. Okay, so now I confirm that I can able to get my client request. Okay, so now what your duty for this particular client request to serve him the particular page based on client URL. Yes, that's actually comes under routing part. So let's make the routing part in the next setup because I don't want to mess up this example. So slowly we'll go next level. So let me take a backup of this and let's create that routing part in the next example. Okay, not next class. Okay, wait, only 1 hour it is. Okay, let me copy this folder. I paste it, make it as 13 with Node.js with routing. Okay, so 13 Node.js with routing, that's fine. Let me stop the server. Okay, fine. So now it's almost 7 o'clock. So let's take a break of 5 minutes and then we'll continue with Node.js. Okay, let's take a break of 5 minutes. Okay, let me stop this. Okay, after 5 minutes we'll meet again. Just relax for 5 minutes, right? Asking questions. Okay, okay, fine. Let me stop the share. Yeah. Um, yeah. Hello, everyone. Okay. So now what we do is when you make a contact, I want to get a contact page, and when you make a slash about, depending on the requester. Okay. So we'll do one thing. In routing, let me create a multiple HTML files for every request. Okay. So as per our configuration, home page, about page, contact page, service page. Okay, like that. So let's make these HTML files and we'll respond each HTML file depending on the requester. So I copy this index, I paste it, let's say about.html, and some different color for our understanding, light pink color. And what is this about page? Um, just say about us. Okay, you can see in this p, just say lorem some 45 tag. Okay, that is about page, and let's copy this, paste it. I change this to services page. In services I'll say light salmon, and I say welcome to our services. Okay, and let's make the paragraph to be same paragraph, but I'm just making some
Can
different
we
color.
add Bootstrap folder to that
Yes,
Node.js?
yes, we can. I show you in the next examples.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you can do it. Let's copy this and paste it. Contact. Okay, I'll just say this is just get in touch something. Okay, I write a paragraph tag with the lorem 60 tab. Okay, so we got, I didn't change the light, some green color. Okay, fine. So we got multiple HTML files, and so let's make the routing part here. Okay, so how you do routing part is we got the client URL, right? So as per the client URL, if it is nothing, if it is slash, nothing means slash. If it is slash, I want to serve HTML index or HTML. If it is about, I want to be about page, like that. So how we configure that is, see here. Here we didn't made any condition. We just made fs.read file just like that. No, I don't want it. I want based on a client URL. So what I do is I just, instead of doing this one, I make some, I cut it, if condition, if the client URL is equal to slash. Okay, then you serve him index.html. Fine. And then else if uh, client URL is equal to slash about. So then I'll serve him the same location about.html. Okay, the same way I'll make slash services. I'll do respond him with services.html, and if my request is for contact, I do serve him the contact.html. It's a very basic routing. We'll go to the optimized routing. Yep. So we got if this one, else this one, else this one, else this one, and this one. And we also have to write the page not found, because when you do some URL which is which is except these things, it must be a page not found. So let me do one thing. I will take another example, another HTML. I'll paste it. I'll make 404.html. So this is gonna get. Let's make some light, let's let sky blue color. Okay, I say here 404 page not found. Okay, something, you can just make some other random text. Okay, you can also give some color for this. Oh, I made h1 tag, or everywhere I'm using h2, then waste of doing it. H2. Okay, I'll make it color something orange red color. Okay, I made a mistake. For every file, I was using H1 and I'm writing styles for H2. So let's quickly fix it. Here also H2, and here it is H2 index. Here it is H2 and services. Here it is H2. Okay. So now what's my plan is, if this URL match this page, if this URL match this page, if none of the URL match except all these URLs, you must supposed to provide a page not found. So that is 404.html. This is our 404 except of these URL, because as of now my server having only this request will be served, and apart from that I'll get this page from the server. Fine. So we have done the routing configuration. This is how you do in plain Node.js. Fine. So now let me test my application. So I have not started. Okay, let's say cd space folder number 13 routing. So nodemon automatic restart. So add.js, enter. So it is started. Yeah. So let's go back here. Mm, where is the one? Yeah, refresh. You get this. I think I zoom it. Okay, fine. Now let's check other pages as per the configuration. Go here. So slash homepage. That's when you make slash, you get the homepage. When you make slash about, I'll get the about page. Let's see. So I say slash about, I get see about us page. Okay, about. And when I make slash services, you get the services page. Services, I get the services page, and slash contact, I get the contact page. And if I don't provide any, apart from this, whatever you type, you get a page not found. For example, profile. Do you have profile? No. You get the page not found. Apart from this, anything else you type, some dummy characters, you get page not found. Okay. If I don't type, that will be the home page. Okay, it's working as expected. But thing is, something more you have to do. What is that is, see here. Here, the same example of GitHub. If I click on pull requests, you got the pulls page. But uh, what about the end user? Just think about as per the end user. For end user, if you provide these type of links like a navbar, so he understand, okay, issues page is there at server side, market page is server side, explorer page is server side. Apart from this, something else I hijack, you get the page not found. Same way, if you take here, as a server side developer, we know that these many URLs can be supported by our server. But as a end user, how would he know that? Suppose I develop application, I give to you. I have not given this concept. I mean, I have not showed you what you have done in the backend. I given only this URL. Hey, test my server. What you test? And how can I expect that you have some URL? I thought some name is there. You got page not found. So how would I client can test it? Simple. You have to provision, you have to give a provision to the client to test it. How? You have to provide some sort of navbar. When I click on navbar, which each and every link, it has to send automatically request to the server to get the page. You can do that. So let's make a simple navbar. So when I click on the links like this marketplace, not this much, okay? Just very simple navbar. So when I click on each link, it is supposed to send a request to server instead of typing manually on the browser URL. Okay, let's start with homepage. So go to homepage, index.html. Let's make a simple navbar. Okay, a simple navbar starts with nav tag. Okay, in the nav tag, anchor tag, href is just slash. So what is the URL and what is the link? Let's say homepage. Okay, why I given slashes? You have configured with slash this one. Next, oh, when I click on another one, not that one. When I click on another one, let's say about uh, services and also the contact. Okay, so about what was the path you given when you click on about where it's supposed to go. the path will be slash about slash services slash contact. Same way I'll give here slash about, this is slash services, and this is slash contact. So contact. So whenever you click on this particular link, it will send a request to server with this path. And we already configure for this path what is the page is supposed to load. That is already done. Okay, let's check my index page. Do we have it? You have to send a request to server. Yes, and let's make some basic configuration like basic styles you had. For example, nav tag, background color, let's say black. Okay, and some, I don't know, let me refresh. Padding some 10 pixels. Okay, and let me give some nav space a color white, and let's remove the line text to decoration none, and give some gap, that's margin top and bottom not required. Okay, let's say some padding then. Padding top and bottom 0, left and right. This is 0, left and right some 20 pixels. Okay, looks good. Fine, we got some at least a basic navbar. Okay, now let's try clicking on it. So see here, by default is home page here. The moment I click on about page, see, I got the slash about page, but here no navbar. Navbar should supposed to be there for every page. So I'll do one thing, I just repeat the same code for everywhere up to this code I'll copy, and even for 404 also I need that. So let's paste it here, and also for about I'll paste it here, and for contact I paste here, and for services I paste here. Done. So now check, go to home page, right? When I click on home, it's just home page slash. When I click on about, see, slash about is requested based on the anchor tag configuration, and I got about us page. Services, I got services page. Contact, I got a contact page. So whatever the link you click, that particular page is getting rendered on the screen. It means you are requesting for a certain URL, and server is responding with that particular pages. This is how you implement the routing in the basic Node.js. Okay, and we also see the same story with React, Express.js. That is even easy than this one, and a lot of things which is lacking here. I'll talk about those things when you start with the Express.js. Okay, so this one, done. Now thing is, let's do something more. What is that? Is let's optimize our code what we have done till now. Optimization. What is optimization is? Tell me what is meant by this app.js. App.js is actually a server, right? You need to create a server logic. Like let's just create a server, creating a server. And extra what is there is routing also. So what I say is, we already discussed the custom module concept. Custom module concept means you can divide the whole logic, because you are not supposed to write the whole application logic in a single file. It's not looks good. See here, the full of routings. There are only hardly 5-6 routings are there you made in this way. Fine. Imagine if you have a huge application, you have hundreds of routing. If you write all hundreds of routing in the same file, you never know which routing belongs to what. And we also have certain modules like user module, admin module, client module, like that. So every module, if you write everything in a single file, you never know which file belongs to what. Okay, which code belongs to what. Okay, so that way what I do is I will take out this entire logic to separate file, and I can just call that function of it. Okay, let's make that step. And also one more thing, see here, all HTML files made in a root folder, right? So JS files, you have huge number of JS files and huge number of HTML files. If you keep writing everything here, one fine day you never know. This is like mess up, like HTML, JavaScript, and all will be mess up. Okay, it's not easy to figure out which folder contains what. Okay. So what's my plan is I'll take something called views folder because the view part, the front end presentation part, views folder, I keep all HTML files. Okay. And I'll take one router folder. In that, I'll take the complete routing logic. Okay. That's my plan. So what I do one thing is, okay, I will take out all HTML files to views folder and then let's have a connection and let's see. Okay. So I create new directory views. Official name we use mostly views folder. Okay. Views. So let me take out all this HTML files, even index, move them to views folder. It is okay. It is done. Okay. So now it's clear application. Or I do one thing. Instead of doing it, can we make it a separate folder? Because you may confuse if I keep everything in the same location. I do undo. Okay, no views folder. I have a plan. What's the plan is? This is only for routing, okay, not for optimization. Optimization will see separate setup because you may confuse if I write everything in the same setup. Okay, I do one thing. I just copy same setup, copy 13th folder, paste again. Don't worry much number of folders, but it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, routing with optimized optimized routing. Okay, now here we'll say accept or close all other. Yeah, so here we'll do this folder setup. Okay, so let me start the server once and let me check one more time, is it really working or not, and then we'll modify it. Okay, node mon space app.js enter. Okay, started. Go check my website. It's working, no issue. About page, services page, contact page, everything is working. That's fine. Now what I do? Why this console log is coming unnecessarily? I don't need this console log because we already confirmed the data, right? So console log required. Fine. Now what's the plan? Keep all the HTML files in a views folder. So right click on this new directory views folder. Okay, let me get these guys. Move them to views folder. Moved. Okay, so now application looks pretty well. Now let me test my application because I changed the path, right? It was in a home page. Now I move to views folder. But what about this path? This path is no longer work because underscore directory name, that is your root application folder. There immediately index file is there. It was working. Now it is moved to views folder. If this work, not work because there is no index.html in the root folder. It will not work. You want to test it? It's already started the server. Okay, let's check. Go back here and click on refresh. It is loading and loading and loading. It says site cannot reach. So some error has come in the server log. See that. See throw error has come. Why that is? No such file or directory in this location. Let me copy that. See here. Just paste it here. Okay. Just forget about all this, guys. Let's take only the folder name. Okay. See here. This is my application folder, optimized application folder. In that index.html, this is your underscore directory name. Let me see this. ये जो है ना path, the one which is here. Okay. So when you do, okay, keep it above. When you do underscore directory name index.html means underscore directory means up to the root directory. From there index. Obviously it was working earlier because it is there here only. Now it is moved to views folder. So now it's supposed to be views slash index. So how you specify that here? Simple. Specify the views folder and then comma. It will make the automated path with the root folder, optimize the folder name and then views folder and then index file. That's how you have to configure, right? That's why it says no such file or directory because the location index file is not exist. We know. So what I do is everywhere I have to modify. Okay. So views. Okay, let's copy this. and let's paste it and paste it and also paste it and also paste it, because everywhere all files I moved to views folder now, so that's why I made it all for us like this. Done. You don't need to worry about restart, it's already done. Automatic restart, no errors. Fine, let's check now. Go back here and refresh. Application starts working. Now click on all the links, test it once. About page, service page, contact page, get in touch, home page. Okay, everything is working fine. One more thing, what we supposed to do is we don't need to write the entire routing logic in the same file. We have to take it to separate file. Okay, so the whole logic I want to take to separate file. Let's create my own. I create new folder, a router folder. Okay, in that router I'll take one file, some name, any name you take, meaningful name. Don't take abcd or something. Something called API router. Okay, assume this is my API router. Here you need to have a some function that will catch hold of all the data, all this logic. So I'll create something. Let what is your logic? I'm just mapping the roots, right? So let's say map roots. Map roots is equal to a function. I made a function. Okay, so here you're supposed to write a logic. Okay, and then let's say module dot exports is equal to a function. Sorry, it's an object which contains my map roots function. Okay, because you have to export it, right? So that I can call it from outside. Fine. So my file ready, function ready, content should be there. Content, I'll copy that. The whole content from if condition to until the else condition, I cut it. See, now it's clean. I will paste that logic in the place of here. Okay. Yeah, there are some errors. I'll fix it. Okay. So now the complete logic you push to this file, and you have to call this file, I mean this function from here to go to call this logic. You have to call this function, right? Okay, how? This comes under custom module, because you create your own setup. JS file you have to call outside. You have to import it and call. Already I have exported from here, and I can import that from app. So simply what you do, and again for custom module, what you do, dot slash. So what is name? Router is equal to my own name. Okay, require dot slash router folder slash API router. Okay, so what I do is let's call router dot map roots, the function I call. So router dot map roots, you call exactly, say this location we have a code, right? So when you call the function, code executes. But problem is there in the code. What is the problem is first of all, where is the client URL? Client URL you can pass as a parameter from this guy, because we have a client URL. Otherwise, I'll do one thing. Can I cut this guy client URL? Nowhere I'm using the client URL, right? I just cut this URL. I'll keep that here. So now client URL is gone, but something is, where is request? Okay, I can't receive the request object, so I can't access the client URL. So how can I receive the request? Simple. You do one thing. You just take request object here and also response. My own function I can write in a number of parameters, right? So your function is requesting, I mean it is expecting two parameters. One is request to response. So request URL you receive, response also we are using now, response.enter, response.enter, everything is there. So while calling map roots, you have to provide these two things to make this code work. Okay, what I do is I say here directly request object and the response object. So my code is so simple. I just pass request object, response object to this guy. It will work fine. And one more issue will come. What is that? Okay, request response is there. You receive the client URL from request and response also there. Fine. What about FS? FS cannot resolve. FS is the core module. You import here. Okay. But actually I have imported in the previous example, but here FS and path, nowhere I'm using apart from that logic. So nowhere I'm using these guys. So let me cut these import statements. because I don't need that two modules here. I want actually here. Let me make that imports here. So fs is there, path is there, join, everything is there. Perfect. So the whole application, nowhere you find a error, right? So it's perfect. And now I call that from here. So this is actually your routing logic. Okay, fine. Let me test my application. Go back here. It is started. Let's go to browser. Let me request one more time. You got the error. Okay, expected. Why error? I tell you, same story. Actually, yeah, now you understand what is error. Copy this. Same error. Okay, such file, no such file. Now let me enter here. Forget about this entire story. Just keep up to 14th folder. See, what's the problem? Did you change the HTML file location? No, I have not changed the HTML file location. It was there in the views folder only. This is the path. But what is the path it is looking for? Is this path. So what is extra added? Optimized views folder index, but it is views folder in the router. So in between router has come. Actually, what happened? Na? This entire code is there. Na? This router setup code. This code was there in the root folder. Okay. So from the root folder only, we have written the connection to the views folder. Correct. But now the entire code has shifted to router folder. So as per this file location, you have to give a path. So, okay. So in this router folder, I given underscore underscore directory view. So if you say underscore underscore directory in this file is inside router folder. So that's why it is given up to router. So underscore underscore directory has come up to here, and then views, and then index. That is remaining part here. But I not because there is no views folder in the router folder. This is beside of that, not inside of that. Sir, can I keep this inside? No, because it is not comes under router. Okay, it's separate. So what you supposed to do? You have to come out from the router folder, then views folder will be there. So if you come out from router folder, then views you can see. So how to come out from the folder with the dynamic path is like this, dot dot. Generally we'll give dot dot, no? So to come out from the parent folder, same story. This is up to router. Dot dot means previous folder, from their views, and then this one. So let's update the address as well. And here and here, done. So I modified. So now it's perfect path. So now we have finalized our application. Let me test it now. Go back here. It is already started. Check it out. Oh, I stopped. Node mon space .js enter. Yeah, it is started. Go back here. Enter. Okay, it's working. So home page, about page, services, contact. So now all the links are working. All the links are working, and let's type something else. Slash blah blah blah. You get the page not found also, right? So all the links are working as expected with routing, and we also made a optimization. See, no error. We also made optimization here. That means we have a separate app folder only which contain the server startup logic. All routers move to router folder, and all HTML files move to views folder. So this is the proper Node.js routing. But still, there are a lot of obligations. Like there are a lot of limitations are there with Node.js. Okay, so to come across all the limitations, I tell you what are all the limitations. Okay, to come across all the limitations, we will be switching to Express.js. Okay, I don't think like Express.js is also just like one platform or one language. Nothing. It is just one third-party module. Okay, Express.js is a library of Node.js, just like jQuery is a library of JavaScript, Bootstrap is a library of CSS. Like that way, Express.js is the library of Node.js. It is one third-party module. Using Express.js also, you can create a server. For example, we have third-party modules now. Bcrypt.js is very small module only for password encryption. This is also one small module for JSON Web Token authentication. Just like that, Express.js also one third-party module, but not just for simple things. It is a replacement of whole Node.js things. Okay, you can do Express means faster. The name Express means faster. You can create a faster website application, I mean the server-side application with even REST API calls and GET request, POST request. See, till now, have you observed? We made routing, but we never made a connection everywhere. Like, is a GET request or POST request what it is? It doesn't know. I tell you, there are some limitations are there here. So to cross all the limitations, to surpass all the limitations, we need to have Express.js. Okay, let's see the disadvantage of this approach, advantage of Express.js in the next class. Okay, any question? No.
In real time, instead of writing HTML in if else, we will call API.
Yes, correct. REST API will call.
Okay,
And we
no
never
HTML.
write, yeah, we never write correct. We never write if else condition. This is not a proper way. There is a different path. Router.get, router.post. Those things will write.
Mhm.
Okay, I talk about REST API in the Express.js class.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so Navin, routing will not be using in the like in real time in Node.js. Like Aju, we are using the APIs.
Yes, this is the thing for Node.js, but when you talk frankly, it's like server side. They say like they are using Node.js, but it's not actually Node.js. It is Express.js because everything can be done with Express, but internally Express is using Node.js. It means we are not going to write the core, the plain Node.js thing. Okay. So on top of that, we use the library called Express.js. So everything we will make in the company in real time. No one write this story using Node, plain Node. But why we understand the plain Node is, if you understand this, then only you understand the Express.js. Okay. But in the company, they use
Okay.
only
Okay.
Express.js.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. One more thing. Have you installed any plugins for CSS properties and HTML properties? Like when you type, all those CSS properties are like available in WebStorm. So any different
CSS
plugin?
property. Property for what?
Talking about hints.
Hint. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Generally for WebStorm by default is there HTML CSS support. You don't need to write any you don't need to connect any plugin or something for that.
Okay.
Okay, and only for these modules like any extra npm module, then you have to import the library that will be available automatically, and remaining the bootstrap, the CSS library that you just connect the physical file here, automatically reads the file and give you the hint of all the classes. I think you have seen this already in Angular with bootstrap. Okay, no special configuration required in WebStorm for that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and even the default JavaScript functions also available, like math object, data object, everything is available here. Okay, yeah, I hope that's it. Yeah, fine. So tomorrow we're gonna start with Express.js, and we also discuss the what is GET request, how to configure REST API, and how to test the REST API with uh, like Postman and Insomnia software, and then we'll start with the database. Okay, fine. I think around hardly 3-4 classes. I think four or five classes. Okay, so by this weekend we have to finish it. So I think not this weekend with 2 minutes now. Yeah, this weekend if we finish, so we'll start our big basket application here. First we'll do the big basket only backend part. Same big basket will configure with Angular. Okay, so by this weekend we'll do the big basket, and then on Monday I think we'll do same big basket connect with the client Angular.
Sir, Angular
Fine.
forms.
Angular forms next after that example. So Angular forms with form validation authentication will comes next. Okay, fine. Yeah,
The
that's it.
pipes also you are removing, sir.
Sorry,
Pipes.
files.
Pipes.
Pipes.
Angular pipes.
Pipes. The end of the module. that after I think before validation only we'll see. Before validation only we'll see, because that is required for forms or concepts also. Okay, okay. I'll plan. First, we'll finish off the backend part. Okay, fine. That's it. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll meet tomorrow, and we'll start with Express.js. Right. So, thank you.